Police procedures and the use of force, topics of heated and painful debate. The latest altercation to gain national attention, an unarmed mental health worker shot by police. Miscommunication and misunderstanding around the man with autism he was trying to help. Tonight, one police department's mission to change their approach to interactions with the mentally ill, as another police shooting sparks outrage. 47-year-old behavioral therapist Charles Kinsey is sprawled on the ground, his hands clearly empty and in the air. At his feet, a 24-year-old man with autism who had just run away from a group home where Kinsley works. Authorities say police were responding to a call of someone with a gun who might be suicidal.
All of the officers felt that there was a firearm involved.
Police draw their guns on arrival, but Kinsey yells to them that the man at his feet is unarmed.
To the officers, it looked like the white male was about to shoot Mr. Kinsley.
He's loading up his weapons.
Police and Kinsey both plea for the 24-year-old to lay down. But he doesn't. Police officer Jonathan Aleda fires his gun, hitting Kinsey in the leg.
I'm holding fire. We have one now.
Another video after the shooting shows police physically patting down Kinsey and the man he was taking care of. Kinsey later spoke to Fox station WSVN.
And I'm standing there, I'm like, sir, why did you shoot me? And his words to me, he said, I don't know.
There is no justification to shoot a man who's laying on his back and telling you that he's unarmed.
Officer Aleda was placed on administrative leave. He issued a statement through the union president saying,
I did what I had to do in a split second to accomplish that, and hate to hear others paint me as something I am not.
But Clinton Bauer, who runs the group home where Kinsey works, says the police approach was flawed.
People with autism don't respond to commands in a normal way. He didn't get down, which scares me to think that what could have happened.
It's a misunderstanding happening all too often. Altercations between police and people who have developmental disabilities or are suffering from mental illness that end tragically.
Dallas 1, where's emergency?
Yeah, my son needs to be taken to Parker, who's bipolar schizophrenia. Make sure they train police officers.
Okay.
This body cam video shows two Dallas police officers responding to a 911 call about a bipolar schizophrenic man off his meds. We have to warn you, what happens next is hard to watch.
Bipolar schizo.
38-year-old Jason Harrison comes to the door. Notice the screwdriver in his hand.
Drop that for me, guy.
Jay!
Drop the...
Jay!
Drop it.
Jay! Oh, you can't look down! Oh, you can't look down!
Bravo, 7, Drop it.
Shots fired. Cover code 3.
8 seconds after he came to the door, Harrison lay dying in his mother's driveway.
Jesus Christ.
Shot 5 times, twice in the back. The officers insist they had no other choice. They fired in self-defense.
They could have tasered him or something. They didn't have to come out straight with the deadly force.
A grand jury declined to indict. The Harrison family sued the officers in the city of Dallas, but a federal judge dismissed the suit, ruling the officers did not violate Harrison's constitutional rights when they shot him.
The training that these guys are lacking is what needs to be changed.
Jason Harrison's name has now become one among many others. Names like Laval Hall, Dontre Hamilton, and James Boyd, Americans described by their families as mentally ill, who've ended up on the wrong side of an officer's gun. Many even inside law enforcement are calling this a crisis in American policing.
And what I can't stress enough, and I truly feel in my heart, is that this is the future of policing.
Just hours from where Jason Harrison was killed, a specialized team is working to revolutionize policing from within. They're San Antonio's mental health unit.
She's calling in stating that she has depression and that she's feeling suicidal.
Meet Patrolman Joe Smaro and Ernie Stevens. They're tasked with responding to calls involving emotionally disturbed persons anywhere in the city.
Hi, my name's Ernie. You call the police?
I promise you that I'm not like any police officer that you've probably ever met.
Today, it's a young woman who called 911 contemplating suicide.
Have you ever attempted suicide in the past?
No.
I
No.
don't even know how I would do it.
Okay, so you don't have a plan right now.
No.
These officers are experts in what's called crisis intervention training.
Would you say that you really don't want to die, but you want the pain to stop? Would that be okay? Okay.
I don't want to leave my kid.
And you're willing to get some help today?
Yeah.
This woman agrees to get help.
We'll go in there together. You'll ride with us. We're in an unmarked car.
It's all part of a pioneering program where the mentally ill are diverted out of jails and into treatment.
You know, we walk in, it's not, hey, I'm Officer Smarrow, this is Officer Stevens. It's, how you doing, Byron? My name is Joe. This is Ernie. We're just here to help you.
Only 15 to 20% of law enforcement agencies in the country have crisis intervention training programs.
When police officers have had this kind of training, they unlearn certain biases and they practice. They learn how to make quick decisions that are fair and impartial.
According to a survey by the Police Executive Research Forum, new recruits typically spend 60 hours learning to handle a gun, compared to 8 hours learning strategies for handling the mentally ill.
Look at our police academies. How close do they mimic military boot camps? But then when you graduate, you go to the streets.
For Joe, this work is personal. As a Marine Corps veteran, he's battled PTSD. Very personal question. You ever consider suicide?
I have. Absolutely.
So when you go on these calls, you sometimes see yourself?
A lot of the times I see myself. And that's what allows me to do what I feel like is a good job.
This new approach may be saving lives, and it's certainly saving money for the city of San Antonio, around $50 million in the past 5 years.
Do you feel that she's suicidal?
Their specialized training is put to the test almost daily.
A complainant is calling in asking for a welfare check on his estranged wife. He's at her house. He's banging on the door. No answer.
They race to the scene. We could sense their heart rates rising.
So police, are you okay?
That's the victim's estranged husband who called 911.
Is she breathing?
All they can do now is pace and pray. Ernie and Joe arrived in time.
We found her face down in her bathroom with a lot of pills, empty pill bottles, at least 7. We tried to do what we could until EMS got here. We do have a faint pulse.
I was struck by how you guys kicked the door in, having no idea what you might find inside.
Certain officers are going to see us as foolish, because like you said, Byron, we don't know what's on the other side of that door. You're right. Every possible call that police officers get dispatched to has the potential to turn violent. And like I've said, our mindset is always ready to go there if needed.
The woman survived. Ernie and Joe likely saved her life.
I saw 2 cops go in. I saw 2 human beings come out.
The reaction is that, Byron, because of how you see it affect us. There's no way you can do this day in and day out and not have a human approach to this or respond with emotion. I don't think it's possible.
Police across the country insist no 2 encounters are the same, but more enhanced training is key.
The more information we can give them about how different people in the community are and give them the tools in order to de-escalate situations which can escalate, it's going to work to everybody's advantage.